I remember the day my brother Brett took his life. I got a call about 10 o'clock Sunday morning from his wife, Leah, and she told me, Adam, he had finally done it. And I immediately knew what she meant because he had made previous attempts on his life before. He took a hose and attached it to the exhaust pipe and started the car in the garage, and he probably died at that time. Brother's wife found him in the garage the next morning. I felt very sad, obviously, but I wasn't surprised because he had done it before, you know, and it wasn't a shock as if like my father died of a heart attack when he was 45, right after his anniversary, and all his friends were in the living room, and they told me my father had died, and that was a shock to me. But with my brother, it wasn't a shock, you know, because he had done it. He had tried to kill himself before, and I had found out even after that he had made another attempt that I didn't even know about. He tried to crash his car into a telephone pole, and he survived that. When he was 20 years old, he tried to kill himself with an overdose of drugs, and he went through drug treatment and went through the program, the 12-step program and all that. And he became very successful in the business. He was in the clothing business, and he started from working in the warehouse to becoming a manager of the warehouse, to becoming a denim buyer, to eventually becoming vice president of operations of the company he worked at. So he was very successful. So his outside appearance to everybody was this, you know, very happy, successful person. Always had a young girl on his arm, drove a Porsche, lived on a house above Sunset Strip. From his outside appearance, except for maybe immediate members of his family, he looked like he had the greatest life in the world. He awfully didn't. He was a compulsive, addicted to gambling. And he got into the point where he had to take a second mortgage out on his house. He was stealing money from his wife, but still trying to put on this air of being this really successful person outside. His last attempt that I knew about was when he was manager at Fred Segal. I got a call at work from his wife saying that Brett's missing. And she was really frantic, and I called up a friend of mine asking me to take him to his house so we could all find out what was going on. We found out he was in this expensive hotel on Sunset Strip, had tried to take an overdose of, I think it was, not Valium, but another tranquilizer. They put him on suicide watch. He started seeing a counselor. He started going to Gamblers Anonymous meetings. He got a sponsor. He seemed to be doing pretty good. But then he started making these secret trips down to Gardena and, you know, wherever, all those places where you can gamble and play poker. And he was like spending a lot of time there. The last thing he got into, which I really thought was crazy, was he started getting into internet gambling, which is like, who knows who you're gambling with, you know, they're just taking your money from you. I wish I knew more. His wife had hidden some stuff from me because she was 20 years younger than him. So he was in his 40s and she was in her early 20s at the time. So I really feel bad for her, you know, because she thought she was getting into this great marriage with this great guy who made a lot of money, and deep down he had these problems. Recently, I was looking at old pictures of my brother with my wife, and it brought back a lot of memories, good memories, you know, with our dog, and, you know, we used to live up in the hills, and I'm blessed right now because I met the woman of my dreams, you know, and my life is doing really good right now. You know, I went through a period of time after my brother died when I felt really, really lonely. When someone passes away, it feels like they're gone. It's like you can't call them up on the phone. You can't write them a letter. There's no way you can ever communicate with that person again. I don't think I ever actually cried. If I could say anything to my brother, he committed suicide, I'd say, why weren't you there? Why didn't you talk to me about it? I could have helped you. You were there for me all the time.